lesson has us working with geometric language, some of which you heard in the intro. Our objectives are to name those figures using proper language and symbols, while also identifying types of angles. Tonight's lesson has quite a bit of vocabulary in it, so you might find yourself frequently pausing this video in order to jot down some of those definitions in your notebook. So let's get started. The most basic geometric figure is the point. It's a specific location in space or on a line, a segment, or a ray. You can use a bullet or dot to show the location, and then you use a capital letter to name it. So I could say that this is point B. Another geometric figure is the line. It's a straight arrangement of points that extend forever in opposite directions. So let's say this is point B and this is point E. When I want to name the line, I could say this is line BE, or I could reverse that order and say it's EB. Either way, what's most important is to put a double-sided arrow above the 2 points to show that the line extends beyond point B and beyond point E. Another type of geometric figure is the ray. It's a straight line that extends from a point forever in one direction. So let's say I have M and N. My ray stops and starts at M, so I write that letter first. It extends beyond the N, so it comes second. And again, what's most important is to put a ray symbol above it. The ray symbol matches exactly what a ray would look like. And unlike the line, we can't reverse the order of the points. The final figure is called a segment. It's 2 points on a line that we know where it starts and where it ends. So let's say I have J and O. Point JO or OJ. Order doesn't matter in a segment. What does matter is that you put a segment line above them to show that it starts and stops at J and O. Now let's see if you can remember the 4 different geometric figures. Choose the letter of the best name for each figure. Press play when you're ready to see the answer. When you combine 2 rays, segments, or lines, and have them share a common endpoint called a vertex, you've created an angle. The shaded part in purple is what we could consider an angle. There are 3 ways you can name an angle. You can use the letter of the vertex, in this case B. You could either say it's angle B, or you could use the angle symbol that looks like a less than sign in front of the letter B. Another way to name it is to choose 2 other points on the connecting rays. For example, we could say this is angle ABC. But I could reverse that order and also say it's the same angle as C, B, and A. Either way, when you name an angle, you need to use the angle symbol and need to include at least the vertex in its name. There are 4 types of angles you are familiar with, and therefore we're not going to spend a lot of time reviewing them. Simply said, a right angle is equal to 90 degrees, and it often uses a square to indicate that it's 90 degrees. An acute angle is less than 90, an obtuse angle is greater than 90 but less than 180 degrees, and a straight angle is 180 degrees. The next type of angles you may not be as familiar with. You might want to spend some time pausing the video and jotting down the information in your math notebook. The first type of angles I want to talk about are called adjacent angles. These are 2 angles with a common side. In the diagram to the right, you have noticed I have highlighted the ray LK to be the common side. When 2 angles share a common side, such as KLJ or JLK, and KLM or MLK, we call them adjacent. They're next to each other. When they share a common side or are next to each other, we call them adjacent. Another type of angles are called complementary angles. This is where you have 2 or more angles that add up to 90 degrees. For example, I have the angle SRT. If I were to add that to the angle TRQ, I would have a 90-degree angle. Therefore, we call these angles complementary. A quick visual to remind what complementary means is to put a leg on the C of complementary to be a 9, and then you can see it makes 90. The next type of angle is supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are two or more angles that add up to 180 degrees, or a straight angle. In the display to the right, you'll see I have SRT, and if I were to add that to the angle TRQ, I make a 180-degree straight angle. Therefore, these two angles are considered supplementary. A quick visual to help you remind you what supplementary means is to make the S into an 8, arc the U to look like a 0, and put a 1 in front. Supplementary angles always add up to 180 degrees. The last type is vertical angles. These are opposite equal angles. So for example, I have RSV or SVR. This angle here is vertical to UVT. They're opposite of each other. It also says that vertical angles are equal to each other. If UVT was 105 degrees, its vertical partner, its opposite, is equal. It's also 105 degrees. In your math notebook, I want you to solve these 4 problems. In number 1 and 2 and 3, you need to figure out the measurement of the missing angle based on what you know about angles. In the 4th problem, you need to figure out what angles are adjacent to the given angle. When you're ready to see the answers, press play. So tonight we reviewed geometric language, naming some basic figures, using proper language and symbols, and identifying the different types of angles. There was a lot of vocabulary in tonight's lesson. You may want to review what you wrote in your math notebook or review any parts of the slides. When you're ready, take the quiz at Schoolology, and we'll see you next time.